On his 30th birthday, Walker was waiting for a romantic dinner with his wife Valeria in a chic restaurant in Los Angeles. But when she showed up 5 hours later with friends, mocking him in front of everyone, he realized it's not just treason, it's war. Can a man called a pitying puppy regain his dignity and make the guilty pay for his actions? Walker Evans adjusted his tie in the elevator, the hum of the cables matching the buzz of anticipation in his chest. Today was his 30th birthday, and he'd scored a table at Stella Vista, a Los Angeles restaurant where reservations were harder to get than a meeting with a studio exec. He'd left his marketing firm early, a rare move for someone grinding for a promotion, to celebrate with his wife, Valeria Cruz. The plan was simple, a romantic dinner, just the two of them, at 7 p.m. sharp. He checked his phone, 6:55 p.m. No messages from Valeria, but that wasn't unusual. She often got caught up in her influencer gigs, chasing the perfect shot for her 2,800 Instagram followers. The elevator dinged, and Walker stepped into the sleek lobby of Stella Vista. The hostess led him to a window table with a view of the city's twinkling skyline. He sat, smoothing the tablecloth, and ordered a glass of Pinot Noir to settle his nerves. Valeria would be here soon. She always ran a little late. Her charm, she called it. By 7:15, the wine arrived, delivered by a waiter named Diego, who offered a polite smile. "For your companion?" he asked. Walker nodded, forcing confidence. "She's on her way." At 7:30, the restaurant filled with couples and groups, their laughter clashing with a knot forming in Walker's stomach. He texted Valeria at the table. "You close?" No reply. He sipped his wine, the glass sweating in his grip. The couple next to him whispered, their glances darting his way. By 8 o'clock, Diego returned, his tone softer. "Would you like to order an appetizer, sir?" Walker shook his head, his smile tight. "Not yet. She's just running late." The clock ticked past 8:30. Walker's phone stayed silent. He called Valeria, straight to voicemail. A second glass of wine appeared, courtesy of Diego's pity. The knot in Walker's stomach tightened into something sharp or doubt. Had something happened? A car accident? A work emergency? Valeria's influencer career demanded constant hustle, but she'd never missed something this big. He scrolled through her Instagram. Her last post, from noon, showed her posing with a smoothie at a trendy Venice Beach cafe. No hint of trouble. By 9 o'clock, the pity glances multiplied. A woman at a nearby table murmured, "Poor guy," to her date. Walker's cheeks burned, but he kept his posture straight, refusing to let the room see him crack. He texted again. "Everything okay? I'm still here." No response. Diego hovered, offering a menu. Walker waved it off, his voice steady despite the churn in his gut. "She'll be here soon." But the words felt hollow, like a promise he wasn't sure he believed anymore. At 10 o'clock, the restaurant's buzz softened as tables cleared. Walker's wine glass was empty, the candle on his table flickering low. He checked his phone again. Nothing. The doubt in his mind hardened into a realization. This wasn't an accident. Valeria wasn't stuck in traffic or caught in a crisis. This was deliberate. The thought stung, but he pushed it down, ordering another wine to buy time. Diego hesitated before nodding, his expression a mix of sympathy and unease. By 11:30, the restaurant was nearly empty. Walker sat alone, the city lights outside mocking his patience. He'd spent 4.5 hours waiting, clinging to the hope that Valeria would walk through the door with an explanation. But hope was fading fast. His phone buzzed. Not Valeria, but a notification from her Instagram. A news story. Her laughing with friends at Marco's, a trendy bistro across town. The timestamp? 10:45 p.m. His heart sank. She wasn't coming. At midnight, the front door chimed. Valeria strutted in, flanked by 3 friends, Noah, Riley, and Jessica. Their laughter echoed, loud and careless, as they stumbled toward Walker's table. Valeria's eyes locked on his, her smile sharp and unapologetic. She slid into the chair across from him, her friends crowding around, still giggling. "See," she said, her voice cutting through the quiet. "Told you he'd still be here, like a pathetic little puppy." The words hit like a punch. Noah, a smug ex-frat guy, clapped slowly, as if Valeria had nailed a stand-up routine. Riley, her pink hair glowing under the dim lights, pulled out her phone, filming the moment. "This is gold," she squealed. Jessica smirked, scrolling her phone, already bored. The restaurant's remaining patrons stared, their whispers a dull roar in Walker's ears. His face burned, but he didn't flinch. He met Valeria's gaze, his voice calm. "Another wine, please," he told Diego, who hesitated before retreating. Inside, something snapped, not anger but clarity. 3 years of Valeria's demands, her dismissals, her subtle cruelties flashed through his mind. The car payments he covered for her Mercedes. The designer bags he bought to keep her happy. The late nights at work to fund her brand. This wasn't love, it was a performance, and he was done playing his part. He smiled faintly, the kind of smile that hides a storm, and stood. "Excuse me," he said, nodding to Valeria. "Restroom." He walked past the tables, ignoring the stairs, and slipped through the kitchen service door. The chaos of clanging pans and shouting chefs drowned out his thoughts. He stepped into the cool night air of the alley behind Stella Vista, pulling out his phone. Marcus, his college friend, answered on the second ring. "Dude, it's past midnight. You okay?" Walker exhaled, his voice steady. "I need a ride. I'm being Stella Vista." "And Marcus?" "I'm done." Marcus's beat-up Ford F-150 screeched into the alley behind Stella Vista, its headlights cutting through the October chill. Walker climbed in the passenger seat, the familiar smell of coffee and old leather grounding him. Marcus glanced over, his brow furrowed. "You look like you just survived a horror movie. What happened?" Walker stared at the dashboard, his jaw tight. "Valeria showed up at midnight with her crew. Called me a pathetic puppy in front of everyone. They laughed, filmed it, and I walked out." Marcus whistled low, pulling onto the empty L.A. streets. "She's always been a piece of work, but that's next level." Walker nodded, his mind racing. 3 years of Valeria's demands, her Mercedes payments, her endless shopping, her influencer career, flashed like warning signs he'd ignored. "I've been funding her chaos," he said, voice low. "No more." Marcus grinned. "About time you saw it. Where to now?" "Home," Walker said, already pulling out his phone. He opened their joint bank account app, the numbers glaring back. $12,347 spent last month on Valeria's credit card. Brunches, spa days, boutique hauls. His salary, not hers. He logged into the auto loan portal for her Mercedes, his name as primary borrower. His finger hovered over the cancel automatic payment button. "She's about to learn what consequences feel like," he muttered, hitting confirm. Back at his apartment, Walker ignored the buzzing of his phone, Valeria's name flashing with missed calls. He powered it off and grabbed his laptop, diving into 3 years of voicemails he'd saved. Valeria's voice filled the room, venomous and unfiltered, ranting about everyone in her life. Her boss, Greg, was a spineless wannabe exec who'd sell his kids for a corner office. Her parents, Elena and Miguel Cruz, were clueless immigrants stuck in the 90s, dragging her down. Her friend Jessica, a basic tryhard who'd never outshine her. Each recording was a weapon, and Walker was done keeping her secrets. He created an anonymous email account, his fingers steady as he attached the voicemail about Greg. The subject line read, "Your employee's true thoughts." The message was short. "This is what Valeria Cruz says about you." Recorded last March. He sent it to Greg's work email, knowing the man checked it religiously before morning meetings. Next, he prepped a second email for Elena and Miguel, attaching the file where Valeria trashed their sacrifices. "You deserve to know what your daughter thinks of you," he wrote. He hesitated, then hit send. 2 dominoes, set to fall. By 9 a.m. Walker was at his desk at the marketing firm, sipping coffee, when his phone lit up with a voicemail for Valeria. Her voice was shrill, panicked. "Julian, what the hell? Greg just fired me. Someone sent him a recording of me venting, and he said it's unacceptable conduct. How did this happen? Call me back." Walker deleted it, his pulse steady. He'd spent years absorbing her chaos, late nights working to cover her bills, dodging her tantrums. Now, she'd feel the weight of her own words. At noon, Marcus texted, "Her Valeria's freaking out." Her boss tore into her during a staff call. "She's unemployed." Walker smirked, but his focus shifted to the next step. He called the bank, speaking to a rep named Carla. "I need to remove someone from my joint accounts and report unauthorized spending," he said, detailing Valeria's unchecked charges. Carla's tone sharpened. "That sounds like potential financial coercion. We'll freeze the accounts and open an investigation." Walker provided dates and transactions, each one a brick in the wall he was building between him and Valeria's grasp. By 2 p.m. Another voicemail from Valeria. My parents just called. They're furious, saying I disrespected everything they've done for me. They got some email with a recording. What's going on? Did you do this? Her voice cracked, but Walker heard no remorse, only desperation. He saved the message, adding it to his growing archive. Her world was unraveling, and he hadn't lied or fabricated a thing. Just let her own cruelty do the work. That evening, Walker met Marcus at O'Malley's, a dive bar Valeria had always sneered at. Over beers, Marcus leaned in. Her friends are bailing. Noah's pissed she's crashing at his place, eating his food, whining 24/7. Riley blocked her after a 3 call. Walker sipped his drink, a weight lifting. She built her life on fake friendships and my money. Now both are gone. Marcus raised his glass. To you growing a spine. Back home, Walker scrolled through Valeria's Instagram. Her latest post, a tearful selfie caption betrayed by those I trusted, was losing likes by the hour. Her followers, once obsessed with her curated glamour, were unfollowing fast. He shut his laptop, the silence of his apartment a stark contrast to the chaos Valeria used to bring. For the first time in years, he felt in control, not of her, but of himself. His phone buzzed again. Valeria, texting now. I know you're behind this. You're ruining my life. Call me. He deleted it without a second thought. She'd mocked him in public, drained his savings, and dismissed his worth. Now, her empire of lies was crumbling, and Walker was just getting started. Walker woke to the buzz of his phone at 6 a.m., the screen flashing with another text from Valeria. You're destroying everything I built. Fix this, or you'll regret it. He swiped it away, his morning run calling. The Venice Beach boardwalk stretched before him, waves crashing as he pounded the pavement, each step fueling his resolve. He'd spent 3 years tethered to Valeria's whims, her late-night demands, her endless spending, her cruel dismissals. Now he was cutting the ropes, one calculated move at a time. Back at his apartment, he showered and opened his laptop, the anonymous email account still active. Today's target, Valeria's sister, Sophia, a nurse who'd always been kind to Walker. He found a voicemail from last summer where Valeria sneered. Sophia's such a bore, slaving away at that hospital like some martyr. She'll never be more than a nobody. He attached it to an email. Sophia, you should hear what Valeria really thinks of you. Sent. Another crack in Valeria's crumbling facade. By 9:30 a.m., Walker was at his marketing firm pitching a new campaign to a client. His phone vibrated. Valeria again, this time a voicemail. Her voice trembled with rage. Sophia just texted me. She's done with me. Said I'm a selfish brat. How are these recordings getting out? I know it's you, Walker. He saved the message, his focus unbroken. The client loved his pitch, and his boss, Peterson, clapped him on the shoulder. You're on fire lately, Evans. Walker nodded. The praise a reminder of who he was without Valeria's shadow. At lunch, Marcus slid into a booth across from him at a taco joint near the office. Words spreading. Marcus said, biting into a carnitas taco. Valeria's crashing with Noah, but he's kicking her out by Friday. His roommates can't stand her drama. Walker chewed thoughtfully. She's burning bridges faster than I expected. Marcus leaned forward. What's next? Walker's eyes narrowed. Her friends get their turn. That afternoon, he sent an email to Riley, the pink-haired influencer who'd filmed his humiliation. The attached voicemail featured Valeria calling her a desperate clout chaser who'd sell her soul for 500 likes. To Noah, he sent a clip of Valeria mocking his failed crypto dreams and sad bachelor pad. To Jessica, a recording where Valeria labeled her a fake friend who'd ditch anyone for a better photo op. Each email was precise, anonymous, and loaded with Valeria's own venom. Walker didn't gloat. He just pressed send and moved on. By 4 p.m., his phone lit up with a flurry of texts for Valeria. Riley blocked me. Noah won't talk to me. What are you doing to my life? Then a call, straight to voicemail. You're turning everyone against me. I have nowhere to go, no job, nothing. Call me back, you coward. Walker listened, then deleted it. Her panic was real, but so were the consequences of her words. He'd been her emotional punching bag for too long. Now, she was facing the mirror. That evening, he ran through his financials with a bank advisor, Lisa, who confirmed the joint accounts were frozen pending the coercion investigation. You've got a strong case, she said. Her spending patterns are textbook manipulation. Walker nodded, relief washing over him. He redirected his salary to a new account, free from Valeria's reach. The Mercedes payment default notice had already been issued. Repossession was imminent. He didn't smile, but the weight on his chest lightened. Marcus texted at 8 p.m. Valeria's at Starbucks, hogging their Wi-Fi, applying for jobs. Baristas are annoyed. Walker pictured her, once the queen of curated brunches, now nursing a single coffee to justify her seat. Her Instagram stories had shifted to vague rants about fake people, but the likes were dwindling. Her followers, once captivated by her glamour, were jumping ship as her perfect life unraveled. Before bed, Walker prepped one final email, this time to Valeria's cousin, Anna, who'd always invited them to family gatherings. The voicemail was brutal. Valeria calling Anna's events tacky, and her life a suburban snooze fest. He sent it, knowing the crew's family's tight-knit bond would amplify the fallout. As he closed his laptop, his phone buzzed again. Valeria, texting. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean those things. Talk to me. He stared at the words, then powered off his phone. Apologies now were too late, too hollow. Lying in bed, Walker stared at the ceiling, the silence of his apartment a stark contrast to the chaos Valeria once brought. He wasn't vengeful. He was surgical. Every move was legal. Every email a truth she'd buried. Her world was collapsing not because of him, but because of her. As sleep pulled him under, he felt something new. Not just freedom, but power, the kind that comes from reclaiming your life. Walker's phone buzzed at 7 a.m. as he laced up his running shoes for another morning on the Venice Beach boardwalk. Another text from Valeria. I'm at rock bottom. You happy now? He deleted it, the ocean breeze fueling his focus. 3 weeks since he'd walked out of Stella Vista, and his life was snapping into place. His bank account was his again, his apartment a sanctuary, his energy no longer drained by Valeria's chaos. Today, he'd pushed the final pieces of her facade to collapse. At the office, Walker presented a revamped ad campaign to a room of nodding execs. His phone stayed silent. No frantic calls, no desperate texts. During a break, he checked his anonymous email account. Replies flooded in from Valeria's inner circle. Noah had emailed back. Thanks for the heads up. She's out of my place tomorrow. Jessica's response was curt, done with her drama. Even Sophia, Valeria's sister, wrote, I can't believe she said that about me. I'm done. Walker closed the laptop, his plan working like clockwork. By noon, Marcus called with an update. Valeria's couch surfing days are over. Noah kicked her out this morning. She's at some extended-stay motel on Riverside Drive, whining to anyone who'll listen. Walker stirred his coffee, unmoved. She's still posting on Instagram, acting like a victim. Marcus laughed. Yeah, but her followers are ghosting her. Nobody buys the sob story when you've been trashing everyone behind their backs. Walker's lunch break was productive. He met with a locksmith, Tony, who installed new deadbolts on his apartment door. This'll keep the drama out, Tony said, testing the lock. Walker paid him, feeling the weight of reclaiming his space. Next, he called his insurance agent to remove Valeria from his policies. Car, health, renters. All done, the agent confirmed. She's got no claim to your accounts now. Each step severed another tie, leaving Valeria to face her reality alone. That afternoon, a repo truck towed Valeria's Mercedes from Noah's apartment complex, according to a text from Marcus. Walker imagined her panic. Her prize car, her Instagram prop gone. He didn't gloat. He just kept working, his focus sharper than ever. His boss, Peterson, emailed about a potential promotion. Your recent work's been stellar. Let's talk next week. Walker replied with a quick thanks, looking forward to it, his confidence surging. By evening, he jogged to O'Malley's to meet Marcus. The bar's low hum of chatter felt like freedom compared to the tense dinners with Valeria. Marcus slid him a beer. Heard Valeria tried getting a job at that influencer agency downtown. They Googled her, found her rant about their industry being a circus of wannabes, and passed. Walker smirked. Her own words keep biting her. Marcus raised his glass. To karma doing the heavy lifting. Back home, Walker scrolled through Valeria's Instagram. Her latest post, a selfie outside the motel, captioned Rising Above the Hate, had 12 likes, a far cry from her usual thousands. Comments were brutal. You burned your bridges, girl. Her empire of curated perfection was dust. His phone buzzed with another voicemail. Walker, I'm at the extended stay, room 247. I'm broke. My family won't talk to me. My friends ditched me. Please just talk. Her voice cracked, but Walker heard the same manipulation, no real remorse. He deleted it, his resolve ironclad. The next morning, he sent one last email from his anonymous account, this time to Valeria's extended family group chat, obtained from a cousin at a past gathering. The attached voicemail was Valeria mocking their annual reunion as a cheap excuse to eat bad food and pretend we're close. The message read, "Thought you all should know how Valeria feels about family." Sent. He knew the crew's family's tight bonds would make this hit hard, sealing her isolation. At work, Sarah from accounting stopped by his desk. "You seem lighter," she said, smiling. Walker nodded, just shedding some dead weight. He spent the afternoon crunching numbers for a new client, his mind clear, no longer tangled in Valeria's crises. That evening, Marcus texted a screenshot of Valeria's latest story. At a Starbucks, typing furiously on a laptop, caption starting over his hard, "But I'm stronger." The barista's annoyed glances in the background told a different story. Before bed, Walker checked his bank account. $4, 200 saved since cutting Valeria off. He booked a weekend trip to Big Sur, something he'd always wanted but couldn't afford with her spending. As he packed, his phone lit up with another text. "I'm sorry, Walker. I messed up. Can we meet?" He stared at it, then powered off his phone. Valeria's apologies were as empty as her promises had always been. He wasn't her lifeline anymore. Lying in the dark, Walker felt the quiet of his reclaimed life. Every email, every canceled payment, every lock changed was a step toward freedom. Valeria's world was collapsing under the weight of her own cruelty, and he hadn't broken a single law. Tomorrow, he'd run faster, work harder, live louder, because for the first time in years, his life was his own. Walker's sneakers pounded the Malibu shoreline at dawn, the Pacific's roar matching his steady breaths. 6 months had passed since that humiliating night at Stella Vista, and his life had transformed. His morning runs, now 5 miles, were a ritual of reclaiming strength. Today, he'd finalize a major client deal at work, a step toward the promotion he'd earned. His phone, once a minefield of Valeria's texts, stayed quiet. He'd blocked her new numbers, her pleas fading into irrelevance. At the office, Walker sealed the deal with a handshake, the client praising his sharp strategy. Peterson, his boss, pulled him aside. "You're a frontrunner for the senior manager role," he said. "Decisions next week." Walker nodded, his confidence a far cry from a man who'd sat alone for hours, waiting for a wife who mocked him. Back at his desk, he checked his email. No trace of Valeria's chaos, just work and a confirmation for his Big Sur trip. Freedom felt tangible. Marcus texted at noon. Valeria's back with her parents. Tried getting a job at a boutique, got rejected after they checked her socials. Walker smirked, grabbing lunch at a food truck. Valeria's Instagram, once a shrine to her curated life, was a ghost town. Her latest post, a grainy photo of a coffee mug with new beginnings, had 3 likes. Her empire, built on lies and his money, had collapsed under the weight of her own words. That afternoon, Walker visited his lawyer, Elena, to finalize the divorce papers. "You've got a clean case," she said, sliding the documents across her desk. No shared assets, no alimony. Her financial misconduct sealed it. Walker signed, his pen steady. The Mercedes repossession, the frozen accounts, the voicemails exposing her cruelty, all legal, all justified. He left the office unburdened, the last legal tie to Valeria severed. At O'Malley's that evening, Marcus raised a beer. "To you, man. You didn't just survive, you rebuilt." Walker clinked glasses, the bar's hum a backdrop to their laughter. He'd reconnected with old friends, joined a running club, even started sketching again, a hobby Valeria had dismissed as pointless. His apartment, once her stage, was now his. A new couch, his own photos on the walls, a kitchen stocked for meals he enjoyed cooking. His phone buzzed, a new email from an unknown address. "Walker, I'm sorry. I'm working on myself, living with my parents, starting therapy. Can we talk?" Valeria's words, dripping with desperation, landed flat. He'd heard this before. Empty promises, no accountability. He forwarded it to his lawyer with a note, for the record. Then he deleted it, refusing to let her voice back into his head. The next morning, Walker ran along the beach, the sunrise painting the sky orange. A text from Sophia, Valeria's sister, popped up. Thank you for the truth. She's trying, but it's on her now. Walker pocketed his phone, his pace quickening. Valeria's family had distanced themselves, not out of spite, but because her actions demanded it. She was learning, slowly, what accountability meant. At work, Peterson called him in. The promotion's yours, he said. You've earned it. Walker shook his hand, a quiet pride swelling. That evening, he packed for Big Sur, his first solo trip in years. The open road, the cliffs, the solitude. It was his reward for choosing himself. His phone stayed silent, no longer a tether to Valeria's chaos. Valeria's final text came a week later, from yet another number. I know I hurt you. I'm trying to change. Please. Walker read it, his thumb hovering over delete. She was in therapy, living with her parents, scraping by on a barista job, steps toward accountability, but not his problem. He'd given her 3 years of chances. She'd given him 1 night of public shame. He deleted the message, the ocean's crash drowning out the past. Driving up the Pacific Coast Highway, windows down, Walker felt the weight of 6 months lift. Every choice, exposing her voicemails, cutting financial ties, reclaiming his space, had been deliberate, legal, and just. Valeria faced her consequences. No job, no friends, no car, just the truth of who she'd been. Walker, though, had his life back, stronger, clearer his own. The road stretched ahead, and for the first time, he knew exactly where he was going.